You have no idea who you're messing with, the man sneered, stepping closer. Nathan clenched his jaw, his fists tightening at his sides. He'd faced burning buildings, saved lives from raging infernos, but this was a different kind of fire, and if he wasn't careful, it would consume everything he loved. He thought it was just a quiet night at the gas station. He thought stepping in to help a scared little girl was the right thing to do. He had no idea that single moment would unravel a web of power, betrayal, and danger and put a target on his back. What happens when a mechanic crosses paths with the wrong man? And why is a powerful billionaire desperate to keep him away? The night was thick with a hum of crickets and the faint tang of gasoline as Nathan Cole filled his battered pickup at Willow Creek's only station. It was late. Too late for a single father juggling a mechanic's life and an 8-year-old son. But Lucas had begged for a popsicle, and Nathan couldn't say no. The boy sat in the cab, slurping on grape-flavored ice, oblivious of the world beyond the cracked windshield. Nathan's hands, stained with grease and scarred from years of firefighting, moved on autopilot until a sharp cry cut through the stillness. Near the station's flickering neon sign stood a girl, small and fragile, maybe 10 years old. Her blonde hair hung in tangles, a backpack sagging off one shoulder. 3 bikers loomed over her, leather-clad, rough-hewn, and reeking of trouble. The leader, a hulking figure with a jagged scar slicing his cheek, leaned in close, his growl low and threatening. The other 2 flanked her, cutting off escape. Nathan's pulse quickened. He'd seen fear like that before, back when he ran into burning buildings, pulling people from the jaws of death. Dropping the gas nozzle, fuel splashing onto pavement, he crossed the lot in long, purposeful strides. "Hey!" he called, voice steady but edged with steel. "She with you?" Scarface turned slowly, sizing Nathan up with cold eyes. "Mind your own, pal." "She's scared," Nathan said, stepping closer. "Back off." The air thickened with tension. The other bikers shifted, hands hovering near their belts. Knives or worse, Nathan figured. But he didn't flinch. He'd faced collapsing roofs and choking smoke. 3 punks didn't faze him. Scarface spat on the ground, then smirked. "Your funeral, hero," with a sharp whistle. He signaled his crew, and they peeled out on their bikes, engines snarling into the night. The girl, Sophie, she'd whisper later, clung to Nathan's jacket as he knelt. "You okay, kid?" he asked, softening his tone. She nodded, trembling, tears streaking her dirt-smudged face. "Where's your mom?" "I don't know," she stammered. "She was supposed to meet me here." Nathan glanced at Lucas, who'd poked his head out the window, wide-eyed, then back at Sophie. "Come on, let's get you somewhere safe." Minutes later, they rolled into the Willow Creek police station, a squat brick building glowing faintly under sodium lights. Deputy Clara Mills, a wiry woman with a no-nonsense squint who'd known Nathan since their high school days, took charge. Sophie sat huddled in a chair, sipping water as Clara dialed numbers. Soon, a sleek black SUV screeched into the lot, and out stepped Eleanor Ellie Sinclair, tall, commanding, her tailored suit and sharp heels a jarring contrast to the town's dusty simplicity. She enveloped Sophie in a fierce hug, murmuring apologies, then turned to Nathan. "You're the one who helped her?" Ellie's voice was crisp, but her gray eyes shimmered with gratitude. "Just did what anyone would," Nathan muttered, shoving his hands in his pockets. Ellie shook her head, a faint smile breaking through her polished facade. "Not anyone. I'm Ellie Sinclair. Please, let me thank you. Dinner at my place tomorrow. Bring your son." Nathan hesitated, but Lucas's eager "can we, Dad?" tipped the scales. He nodded, and Ellie's smile widened, real, unguarded, sparking something in him he couldn't quite place. The Sinclair estate perched on Willow Creek's edge like a crown of glass and stone, its manicured lawns and wrought iron gates a world away from Nathan's sagging porch and oil-stained driveway. Lucas gaped as they pulled up, his sneakers scuffing the pristine gravel. Nathan tugged at his faded flannel, feeling like a stray dog in a palace. Ellie greeted them at the door, her elegance softened by the way she ruffled Sophie's hair. Lucas and Sophie bonded instantly, disappearing to explore the sprawling house, leaving Nathan alone with Ellie in a dining room that gleamed with wealth. Crystal chandelier, mahogany table, the works. Over steak and wine, fancier than Nathan's usual fare of burgers and cheap beer. They talked. He told her about his shop, the fire that ended his firefighting career and left him with nightmares of smoke and screams, and raising Lucas alone after his wife, Tara, walked out 5 years ago. Ellie shared snippets of her life. Building Sinclair Capital from nothing, the relentless pressure being a female CEO, and the quiet ache of raising Sophie amid corporate wars. "You're tougher than you look," Nathan said, a half-smile tugging at his lips. Ellie smirked, swirling her wine. "And you're kinder than you let on." The air hummed with something unspoken, until Marcus Hensley stormed in. Ellie's ex-husband was a force of nature, broad-shouldered, slick-haired, and dripping with arrogance. His tailored suit matched Ellie's in cost, but carried none of her grace. He barely glanced at Nathan, fixing Ellie with a predator's stare. "You're dodging me again," he said, voice smooth but laced with venom. "Sophie's custody isn't a game." "Not now, Marcus," Ellie snapped, her composure fraying like a thread pulled too tight. Dinner became a battlefield. Marcus dominated, tossing barbed jabs, calling Nathan a grease-stained nobody and mocking his small-town hero act. Ellie deflected with icy precision, but Nathan stayed silent, his fists clenching under the table. When Marcus finally left, Ellie sagged, exhaustion etching her face. "He's relentless," she admitted. "Always has been." "He doesn't scare me," Nathan said, meeting her gaze. "And he shouldn't scare you." Ellie's lips twitched. "You're trouble, Nathan Cole." Weeks slipped by, weaving Nathan and Ellie's lives into an unexpected tapestry. Sophie and Lucas became inseparable, their laughter filling Nathan's backyard during impromptu picnics or movie nights under the stars. Ellie shed her corporate armor around him, revealing a woman who'd clawed her way up from a trailer park to a penthouse, only to find Marcus still chaining her to the past. But trouble simmered beneath the surface. One night, as Nathan locked up his shop, headlights pierced the dark. A black SUV screeched to a halt, and Marcus stepped out, Scarface and another thug, lean, twitchy, with a snake tattoo curling up his neck, at his heels. "I warned you," Marcus growled, breath hot with whiskey. "Ellie's mine. Sophie's mine. Walk away." Nathan squared his shoulders, years of hauling hoses and breaking down doors steadying him. "She's not yours to claim." Marcus stepped closer, his shadow swallowing Nathan's. "You're a dead man playing hero." He nodded to Scarface, who cracked his knuckles, but Nathan didn't budge. After a long, charged silence, Marcus smirked and retreated, the SUV peeling away. The threat lingered like smoke. Nathan needed answers. The next day, he called Jake Russo, his old firefighting partner turned private investigator. "Marcus Hensley," Nathan said, voice tight. "Dig deep." Jake called back days later, grim. "He's dirty, Nate. Money laundering through Sinclair Capital, shell companies, offshore accounts. Ellie's clean, but he's using her empire as a front. And there's a cop tied in, Victor Crane." Nathan's stomach dropped. Crane was Willow Creek's deputy, a smug, barrel-chested man who'd been hassling Nathan lately. Random inspection at the shop, parking tickets for no reason. "Marcus owns him?" "Looks like it," Jake said. "Payments logged in Crane's name. Watch your back." Nathan wrestled with telling Ellie, but he needed more than Jake's word. He couldn't drop a bomb like that without proof. Meanwhile, another ghost stirred, Ronnie Tate, a wiry ex-con who'd rolled into town a week earlier. Ronnie had been Nathan's partner in the firehouse until a botched call 5 years ago, when Ronnie's recklessness got a rookie killed. Nathan took the fall, quitting the department, while Ronnie landed in prison. Now he was back, claiming he'd changed, begging for work at Nathan's shop. "I owe you, man," Ronnie said, eyes darting. "Let me make it right." Nathan relented, against his better judgment, giving Ronnie odd jobs. But something about him, shifty glances, late-night phone calls, gnawed at Nathan's gut. Jake delivered the next blow. He and Nathan broke into Marcus's old warehouse on the town's outskirts, a crumbling relic he still owned. Under flickering flashlights, they found a locked drawer stuffed with evidence, a ledger detailing millions laundered through Sinclair Capital, Marcus's initials on every page. Crane's name appeared too, bribes for protection. But there was more. A faded photo of Marcus with Ronnie Tate, arms slung around each other, dated a year after Ronnie's release. Ronnie's working for him. Jake muttered, "Your shop's a damn molehill." Nathan's blood ran cold. He let a snake into his den. The trap sprang fast. That night, Nathan woke to sirens and the acrid stench of smoke. His shop was ablaze, flames devouring the walls he'd built with his own hands. Lucas sobbed as they watched in the street, firefighters battling a losing war. The chief called it arson, gasoline trails snaking through the wreckage. Hours later, a note slid under Nathan's door. "Next time, it's your house." He confronted Ronnie at dawn, finding him slumped in a bar on the edge of town. "You sold me out," Nathan growled, slamming the photo on the table. Ronnie flinched, guilt flickering in his bloodshot eyes. "Marcus paid me," said it was just a warning. "I didn't know he'd burn it all." Nathan's fist tightened, but he walked away. Ronnie wasn't worth it. Marcus was the head of the snake. He showed Ellie the ledger that morning, her office a fortress of glass and steel. She read it in silence, face paling. "He's been poisoning my company," she whispered, hands trembling. "All this time." "Crane's and on it," Nathan said. "And Ronnie's Marcus's eyes. They torched my shop." Ellie's eyes blazed. "Then we end this." Help came from an unexpected corner. Clara Mills. The deputy showed up at Nathan's house that afternoon. Her usual gruffness softened. "Crane's dirty," she said. "Caught him with Marcus last week, swapping envelopes. I've been building a file." Nathan stared. "Why tell me?" "You saved my brother in that fire," Clara said. "And I don't bow to scum like Marcus. I'm in. Let's take them down." She offered a plan. Lure Crane into a sting while Ellie confronted Marcus with a ledger. Nathan agreed, but doubt gnawed at him. Clara's timing felt too perfect. Was she a lifeline or a double-cross? Ellie moved fast, calling Marcus to her office with Nathan and Clara present. The ledger lay on her desk, a ticking bomb. Marcus strolled in, smug until he saw it. "You're bluffing," he sneered. "Am I?" Ellie said, voice like ice. She played a recording. Hours of calls she logged, Marcus bragging about his schemes. "Sign Sophie over, or this goes to the feds." Marcus lunged, but Nathan tackled him, pinning him to the floor. "She's done talking." Crane burst in, gun drawn, only to freeze as Clara aimed hers. "Drop it, Vic," she said. "You're cooked." But the twist wasn't over. Scarface and Snake crashed through the door, guns blazing. Nathan shoved Ellie behind the desk as bullets tore through the room. Clara took a grazing shot to the arm, but fired back, dropping Snake. Nathan tackled Scarface, wresting the gun free as Jake, tipped off by Nathan, stormed in with a state trooper. The chaos ended with Marcus, Crane, and Scarface cuffed, their empire shattered. Months later, Willow Creek breathed easier. Nathan rebuilt his shop with insurance and a loan from Ellie he swore to repay. Ronnie vanished, a ghost in the wind. Sophie and Lucas raced through the backyard of Nathan's little house, now a shared haven after Ellie sold the mansion and moved into a fixer-upper next door. Marcus rotted in federal prison. Crane beside him, their crime splashed across headlines. One crisp evening, Nathan pulled Ellie onto the porch swing. No fanfare, just a ring he'd forged from a bolt in his shop. "Marry me," he said, voice rough with emotion. "I'm no tycoon, but I'll fight for you every day." Ellie laughed, tears glinting. "You already do." Their wedding was pure Willow Creek. Pie instead of cake, Clara limping as maid of honor, Jake toasting with cheap beer. Sophie and Lucas danced in the grass, a family forged in fire and grit. The town cheered, a testament to small-town magic, where mechanics' kindness unraveled a CEO's guarded heart, rooting them in a future carved from shadows.